Services. Here this morning to ask the commissioners to consider doing a proclamation of disaster specific to the event beginning on August 31st, mid-morning. That event, significant amount of rainfall, mainly affecting the eastern part of the county. I passed out the disaster declaration for review. It is the same disaster declaration we did for the last event, just with updated event information. At this time, the purpose of this declaration would be to help define the magnitude of the event and also ensure that we're eligible for any funding that would come down the road from the state and federal government.
We need $500,000?
$500,000 is our threshold of infrastructure damage. Once we hit that mark, the state has another threshold, which is $18.5 million, if I remember correctly. At that point, they can apply for federal funding to help with infrastructure damage specifically. That's not the same thing as the individual assistance. So this is roads, highways, bridges.
Oh, absolutely.
If nothing, if we don't meet the threshold, is there like a 30-day expiration on these things?
These automatically expire in 30 days.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, I believe that we have one municipality that probably alone meets that threshold, and I got word that they had a sinkhole open up last night
Heidelberg Township, yes.
Mhm.
There
in addition.
There's been no official reports at this point. We're still waiting for actual dollar amounts to start coming in from municipalities. However, one bridge alone can very easily cost $500,000 to repair, especially with the amount of damage that this storm has done. I think that Heidelberg Township, they're reporting at least 2 bridges that have significant damage. I think that will meet this threshold without much difficulty.
Any others?
I can go down, I have a brief update on all the municipalities.
Why don't you do
reported on.
that? Yeah.
Jackson Township still have some impassable roads. No update since my last report, which basically, once the water recedes, they're gonna go out and start doing some damage assessments. Heidelberg, we just got a report this morning of that sinkhole as well, Commissioner, and they still have bridges. At this time, they're also working on damage assessments, still no actual numbers. Bethel Township, ongoing damage assessment. Airport Road is closed. No other updates there. Myerstown Borough, we heard back from. They're currently working on damage assessments. They have significant damage to the sewer plant, estimated to be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. That will count as public infrastructure damage. Millcreek has 2 roads that are closed. One they expect to be closed for the foreseeable future, estimated to be over $100,000 of damage to Deer Rector Road. They don't plan on reopening that road anytime soon. The other one is Crumstown Road, and they are working on repair estimates for that. Swatara Township and Richland Borough, we still have not heard back from. And at this point, we have 4 individual reports of damage to private property.
And the county has one bridge that's County Bridge number 1, which is just to the south of the Heidelberg Township bridges on Hammer Creek also that has some approach damage, but we didn't get the...
In Heidelberg?
Yeah. We didn't get the report from the bridge inspectors yet. They were out Tuesday morning.
I also personally observed some crop damage. So if farmers don't have crop insurance, I guess they can report it.
They should report that to us, either by calling the Department of Emergency Services or by reporting it on our website, helpdesk.lcdes.org. You can go there, open up a ticket, it will walk you through all the information that we need. Worth noting that that system is not a guarantee of anything, it's just a way for us to gather the information, report it to the state in order to try and get these funding streams.
Understood.
I think probably even if they have crop insurance, that would count towards the
500,000.
Yes.
the
Well,
total.
the 500,000, there's public assistance PA, which is that 500,000. That doesn't do anything for the individual. That is
Okay.
very specifically the highway, the public infrastructure. The next piece is the individual assistance. That is something that's the grant program, basically. I don't know exactly what the thresholds for that are, and I don't want to give you any bad information. I do know that that is met at a state level, not just a county level. So any individual assistance, if it becomes available to the state, becomes available to everybody in the county or everybody in the state that has reported that damage. So it's important that they
Report
report
it.
that to us, because it goes towards that threshold, whatever that is we have to meet.
I think that oftentimes, people forget to report the crop damage, and that's important to remember.
And one of the other big pieces with reporting that damage is make sure you document it, take pictures, just a real quick picture, you can upload that to us and then start repairs. I don't wanna ever stop anybody from
Right.
returning their property to where it needs to be. We need pictures when we go to justify this.
I think if anybody has drones, you can go up and take aerial shots, and you can actually calculate acreage and things like that too. Some new technology that can be
There's some neat stuff
incorporated,
available.
yeah.
Okay, any other questions for our director?
Gordy?
Oh, Jess Gordy, I'm sorry.
Bob, how many water rescues did you folks have last Friday? And could you give me any indication of exactly how that, those varied rescues affected the overall emergency response that day?
The east end, or east side of the county, there was a significant number, and I don't know exactly what it was, but at one point I looked and I know there was at least a half a dozen.
I saw 14 somewhere.
And I could pull those numbers, I don't have them with me, but I can tell you what they were exactly. All of those rescue efforts were handled at the municipal level. There was never any request to the county to help support those efforts. So, I mean, the impact was significant, and a lot of those rescues could have been avoided by people not going through standing water, not trying to drive through something that looked, don't drive through water, it's just that simple. People underestimate the power of water. It doesn't take much to push you downstream. I think we're lucky that nobody got hurt, no responders, and none of the public got injured, but I don't know that it had a significant impact on our ability to respond elsewhere in the county, if that's what you're asking.
Does Hazmat still have a boat? Okay, so that wasn't called out at all?
No, and we have that resource available, but nope, did not get called.
Is that because a lot more of the individual stations have their own boats now, or?
The responsibility to handle those emergencies falls to those municipalities, and some of them, actually, you're right by saying a lot of them do now. There's at least 5 boats within the county, if not more, and there's an amphibious vehicle in at least there was an amphibious vehicle in Myerstown. If they're able to use their resources to handle the emergency, they don't call us.
If I could just switch gears here a second, why is it taking so long to get some sort of at least tentative figure as far as damage?
I think because the damages are significant, it's requiring engineering to come in. It's not just a road patch here. It's significant water movement under the roads, and I think that's part of the delay.
Okay,
And
thank you.
I know, for example, the bridges, specifically the bridges, Wilson Consulting, which you've heard mentioned here many times, is the county's bridge engineer, also serves as, does the bridge inspections for the municipal bridges. Something the county's always provided to the municipalities. So when an event like this happens, rule of thumb typically is if a bridge was overtopped by the water, then it requires a post-flood inspection. So they've been out doing those, I think, for at least 2 days, and then back to the office to run it through the standard costs, or cost estimates that PennDOT provides. So I think that's what they're doing now, but they have to collect it all first before they can run it through. So it's like Bob said, it's really, as far as the bridges go, the engineers have to have to do that, so.
With some of the previous storms this summer, it was just a matter of certifying them safe to reopen. Now we're actually talking about significant repairs.
Yeah, even if it was overtopped but not damaged, they'll do an inspection, but then, like you said, maybe just reopen it. They're looking for any movement on the part of the bridge from the hydraulic pressure being overtopped, or any undermining from erosion that might undermine the abutments. Once they confirm that that's not an issue, they can reopen it. Sometimes it's quick, other times it's going back and adding up the damage.
Out of county, not affecting our damage assessments, but 322 is going to be closed for at least another week. The bridge at Pumping Station Road took significant damage. I believe that entire bridge shifted, so.
Commissioner Manning?
Yes.
I just wanted to add, and you probably got this, but DEP Secretary Lynch sent out some basic guidelines. It came through my email, I guess. I know it took a while. Kathy helped me print it out. It was an 11 by 17 poster, but telling you when you need permits and things like that.
The stream repair documents.
Yes,
I
and so I thought it was very simple and easy to understand, and anybody who has questions could refer to something like this.
Absolutely. And we can make that document available to anybody who's interested as well.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else, Gordy? Good. All right, then, I suppose the business at hand is to approve the proclamation. So, do I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second?
All right, I have a motion and a second to approve the emergency proclamation as presented to us by Director of the Department. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Thank you. I'll bring it up, get a copy.
Okay. Just a quick follow-up. You had Pima here yesterday, yesterday they were actually coming back from the July
FEMA and
storms.
FEMA was here doing assessments for the PA piece from the July 31st event.
Okay, so that'll happen again, well, presumably that'll happen for this storm as long as the thresholds and everything are met.
Yes.
They'll be back again in several weeks for this storm.
Yeah, and I think that's York County. I don't know if they have any numbers yet, but York County was one of the hardest hit during this August 31st storm. From the July 31st storm, the state is also going after individual assistance, not going after, but attempting to obtain individual assistance. They will be out on Friday in Lebanon County tomorrow to visit some of the properties that have been reported to us as significant damage. So that's still not a closed book yet.
Were you able to announce the results of the Joe Morales certification exercise?
The certification exercise was a success. He did extremely well. Pima is preparing to issue him the formal certification, which we will bring to you. I imagine that will be in the next 30 days.
Good.
Thank you very much for the support.
Welcome.
Anything else for Bob? Thank you for preparing and bringing that in. Gordy has something.
Yeah, specifically, what was the certification for?
The Emergency Management Coordinator certification.
Okay.
It requires an actual exercise in order to, it's sort of the last step of the certification, so we have that back on July 25th.
Yep. Yeah, the state has basically a training program that goes together to ensure that all emergency management coordinators meet the same set of certifications, and the final piece to that is functional exercise, which requires us to staff every position in the EOC and handle a significant event. Oddly enough, it was a flooding-based event.
Yes.
Following a flooding
during an
phase.
actual, it was, yeah, during an actual flood.
Yeah.
Okay. We did.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.